He was the master of it all, a man whose fortune and influence extended beyond the gilded walls of his mansion, every hallway echoing the wealth of generations and every room reflecting the power his family held. That day, the silence seemed heavier than usual, as if the house itself anticipated events no one could foresee. Alice walked discreetly through the main hall, adjusting her impeccable uniform, each gesture laden with experience and caution. She knew every shadow, every echo, every sigh, hidden among the mahogany furniture and crystal chandeliers. But in that moment, she felt something different, something that went beyond the routine of the children and the silent orders she received. Thomas, the billionaire's youngest son, was a child with a curious gaze and a sensitive heart, accustomed to his mother's distance, immersed in the commitments and parties that filled the high society calendar. Tripping over a small toy box scattered on the floor, he fell slightly, but the emotional impact seemed greater than any physical pain. Alice ran, holding him, whispering words only she could utter with such calm. It was then that, with wide, sincere eyes, Thomas murmured something that cut through the heavy air of the mansion. "Mommy." Alice froze, feeling that those simple, innocent words carried a weight no one but her could comprehend. A shiver ran down her spine, for that silent, unexpected call touched buried memories of a past she hadn't thought would resurface. As Thomas snuggled in her arms, Alice's mind began to race. There were subtle signs scattered throughout the house, an old photograph hidden on a high shelf, a yellowed envelope with faded writing, memories of voices and glances that, over time, she had believed were mere coincidences. The photograph showed a man, Thomas's mother, and a woman whose face was painfully familiar. Alice took a deep breath, recognizing this woman as someone who was part of her own story, a piece that fit into a puzzle no one else in the mansion seemed to see. The servants watched discreetly. The butler, rigid and meticulous, cast suspicious glances, while the housekeeper maintained a measured distance, as if sensing silent changes about to occur. Every detail heightened the tension in the air, the creaking of doors, the echo of footsteps in the marble hallway, the distant clink of china in the dining rooms. Alice knew she needed to maintain control, but her heart sank at the thought that any wrong move could bring everything down. Thomas continued to smile innocently, oblivious to the turmoil brewing behind the scenes of the mansion. In the billionaire's office, Alice found an old letter, almost hidden behind thick accounting books and contracts. Opening the envelope, she realized it contained records and correspondence, connecting her own family to the mansion, her work, and the life of the boy she now called Mother. Her gaze traveled over lines written years ago, words that revealed blood, connections, secrets, and decisions that shaped the family's history without anyone knowing. Each sentence she read evoked a mixture of shock, sadness, and determination. She felt a responsibility to protect Thomas, but also a need to uncover the truth and give him a just end. As she walked down the main hallway with the letter in her hands, Alice reflected on her own life. From her childhood in a small village, marked by loss and sacrifice, to the times she had to fight for survival, each experience had shaped her. She understood that this mansion, with all its luxury and power, also held a web of injustices, lies, and family secrets that could never be ignored. The photograph and the letter were just the beginning of a journey that would challenge not only her courage, but the very fabric of the family she served. The first shocking detail emerged when Alice realized that the woman in the photograph, so familiar it made her tremble, was part of Thomas's story in ways no one had told her. Every line of the letter revealed that past decisions, hidden beneath the veil of wealth and status, were directly linked to her. She began to understand that her presence at the mansion wasn't just to care for the children. There was a deeper reason, a secret that would forever change the relationship between the nanny and the billionaire's family. Over the next few days, small incidents began to indicate that the truth was near. Thomas asked innocent questions about the woman in the photograph, about stories from the past, and Alice had to answer carefully without revealing too much. But each gesture, each question, increased the weight of the secret. Tension mounted as other members of the household began to notice subtleties, glances between Thomas's mother and the butler, discreet conversations between the housekeeper and servants, Objects moved around that suggested a silent search for something they shouldn't have found. The next discovery came in an old safe in the attic, which Alice stumbled upon while searching for forgotten objects. Inside were financial and personal records indicating that the woman in the photograph, the hidden mother, had made decisions that profoundly affected the family's future. Every paper, every note, every signature carried an emotional charge that Alice could not ignore. The feeling of being confronted with an almost forbidden truth made her steps more cautious, each breath slower, as if the very air of the mansion were complicit in the secret she had just uncovered. Realizing the magnitude of what she had uncovered, Alice began to form a silent plan. She needed to understand the full sequence of events, who was involved, and how to protect Thomas from the consequences of an untimely revelation. Each night as the mansion silently darkened, she reviewed documents, photographs, and letters, connecting the dots and reconstructing the story of a past that seemed to have been deliberately hidden from everyone. With each new discovery, a mixture of sadness, anger, and determination grew within her, preparing her to face the truth that was about to emerge. The climax of this first section came on a rainy night when Thomas, unaware, led Alice to a little used room, saying he wanted to show her something. There, hidden behind heavy curtains, he found more documents that completed the puzzle of her connection to the family. Alice finally understood that her story was intertwined with Thomas's life in a way no one could have imagined, that she was not just a nanny but an essential piece in a narrative of secrets, losses, and revelations that would transform the fate of everyone in the mansion. And as she watched Thomas sleep that night, Alice silently promised herself the truth would come out, but in the right way, at the right time, and she would be able to protect those she loved, even if it meant confronting the entire structure of family wealth and power. The story had only just begun, and each step forward would bring new discoveries, emotions, and challenges no one could have foreseen. What would happen when all the secrets came to light? Who would stand firm, and who would succumb to the pressure of the truth? Alice spent the early morning revisiting every document she had found. The sound of rain beating against the mansion's windows seemed to accompany her thoughts, each drop marking the rhythm of the secret slowly unfolding before her eyes. The old photographs revealed details that had previously gone unnoticed, gestures, looks, luxurious objects that now took on a different meaning. Each element seemed to tell a story that no one in the mansion had ever dared question. Meanwhile, Thomas woke early, still immersed in his innocence. He approached Alice, asking about small details of her past, about the woman in the photograph, about events she was trying to forget. With each question, Alice felt the weight of responsibility increase. She needed to protect the boy, but at the same time, she felt that the truth needed to emerge, that every secret, no matter how painful, could not remain buried. In the mansion's corridors, small incidents began to become warning signs. The butler, previously calm, seemed to be watching Alice's every move more closely. The housekeeper murmured discreet instructions to the staff, indicating that something had been detected. The billionaire, though immersed in meetings and appointments, began to notice subtle changes. Objects out of place, documents that shouldn't be found, exchanged glances that hid more than they revealed. Everything pointed to a long-held secret about to come to light, and no one was truly prepared to deal with it. Hidden behind a bookshelf, Alice found a sealed wooden box marked with the family crest. Inside were letters, financial records, and old diaries. The words written on the yellowed pages spoke of hidden decisions, silent betrayals, and unfulfilled promises. Each line revealed the complexity of the family's relationships and the direct connection between the hidden mother and Alice. She understood that her role in the mansion went far beyond caring for Thomas. Her own story was intertwined with the family's fate, and now she held in her hands evidence that could change everything. As she reviewed the documents, Alice began to notice patterns and coincidences that had previously seemed random. A signature repeated in several old letters, small references to secret meetings, coded, instructions that only an insider could understand. With each discovery, the tension grew, as if the entire mansion were breathing along with her. And Thomas, not understanding what was happening, continued to look at her with trust and admiration, reinforcing Alice's urgency to protect the boy and uncover the truth. An unexpected detail emerged when Alice found an old contract which outlined the division of the family inheritance and included a clause no one had ever mentioned. The clause spoke of the protection of a child, of a hidden inheritance, of a secret that must remain buried until the right time. Alice understood that the hidden mother had taken steps to protect Thomas, but that the price of this protection was absolute silence from everyone around her. Each word she read seemed to increase the responsibility she now bore, and every decision made in the past came back to haunt the present. In the days that followed, Alice began to observe the family dynamics differently. Small tensions between household members, suspicious glances, words interspersed with silence, everything began to fit into a pattern she could finally understand. Thomas continued to seek her attention, and his every gesture reinforced Alice's need to act with care and intelligence. She needed to understand who could help her, who posed a threat, and how the truth could be revealed without destroying those she loved. And then came the second shock, an unexpected visit from a longtime family ally brought to light conversations no one had remembered, accounts of decisions made years ago, names involved in suspicious financial transactions, letters mentioning the protection of a crucial family secret. Alice realized she was at the center of something much bigger than she had imagined, a plot involving power, money, loyalty, and above all, Thomas's future. Even faced with all the complexity, Alice remained calm. Every step was measured, every action carefully planned. She began organizing documents, creating a mental map of the sequence of events, and deciding which truths could be revealed and at what point. The mystery was beginning to unravel, but there were still hidden layers, details that could change everything if discovered at the wrong time. Thomas, sensing something had changed, approached Alice and asked again about the woman in the photograph. Without answering directly, she simply took his hand and said, "You'll see the truth soon, Thomas. But everything must be done carefully." This promise not only heightened the narrative's tension, but also established a natural hook for the events to come. And as night fell over the mansion, Alice lay awake, reviewing every document, every clue, every small detail. The connection between her and the family became increasingly clear. She was not just a nanny, but a living witness to secrets no one dared speak. The rain continued to tap on the windows, mingling with the distant sound of footsteps and whispers, as if the house itself conspired to reveal the truth at just the right time. In the silence of that room, Alice made a silent promise to herself. They would uncover the truth together, protect Thomas, and confront the past in the right way. And even without knowing it, every decision they made that night was about to trigger twists and turns that would transform the lives of everyone in the mansion. A story of family drama stories that no one would ever forget. The next morning brought a different silence to the mansion, heavy and charged with invisible expectations. Alice walked the halls, observing every detail with renewed attention. The sun timidly filtered through the tall windows, reflecting off the mahogany furniture and creating shadows that seemed to hide unspoken conversations. Thomas ran through the hall, his innocent laughter echoing off the walls, a reminder that, despite the secrets and tensions, life went on, insistent and relentless. Alice kept her eyes open. Every gesture of the family members carried hidden meaning. Thomas's mother seemed more distant than ever, draped in elegant clothes and flashy jewelry, but with a lost gaze, avoiding any contact that might reveal curiosity or concern. His father, the billionaire, seemed busy, but small details, a frown, a lingering glance at documents, a whispered comment to an assistant, indicated that he sensed something was off. While tidying the main hall, Alice found another old letter, hidden behind a false panel. Opening the envelope, she realized it was correspondence between the hidden mother and family members who had chosen to keep the secret for decades. Every word carried emotion. Every sentence revealed layers of betrayal, regret, and fear. Alice felt a mixture of shock and determination. She now understood the depth of the unfolding story, a true family drama story narrative no one had dared tell. Thomas approached her, holding a small teddy bear. "Alice, why do they hide so much from us?" he asked, his wide, sincere eyes reflecting the confusion of a child who senses the presence of secrets without fully understanding them. Alice sighed, trying to find the right words. "Some truths are heavy, Thomas, but we'll find out together. and you'll see the story is much more complex than it seems. The silent promise strengthened the bond between them, while the tension continued to intensify around them. The first real shock came when Alice realized someone was discreetly following her steps. As she turned the corner, she found an envelope strategically placed on a side table, containing old photographs, financial documents, and notes that further connected her own story to the billionaire's family. Among the papers, a note showed that the hidden mother had protected Thomas from decisions that could have irreversibly altered his life. Alice felt the weight of the secret and the responsibility to protect the boy while deciphering the complexity of his past. Each discovery added layers to the emotional family drama unfolding within the mansion. Small clues led to new questions. Why had certain documents been hidden? Who really had a stake in keeping the secret? Every gesture of the servants seemed charged with meaning. Every look from the adults hid intentions that Alice needed to decipher. She knew the path to the truth would be fraught with obstacles, but her determination to unravel the entire plot remained firm. While reviewing the papers, Alice found a note indicating a secret meeting that had taken place years ago, where crucial decisions were made about Thomas's future. The words were direct, but charged with emotion. Protect the child at all costs. Keep the mother's secret hidden. The intensity of the message made it clear that the family was willing to do anything to preserve their image and power, even if it meant hiding the truth from everyone. The atmosphere in the mansion began to shift. Small incidents that had previously seemed trivial now fell into place like pieces of a puzzle. The housekeeper, who had always been discreet, began acting with exaggerated caution, while the butler watched Alice from afar, his watchful eyes recording her every move. The billionaire showed signs of concern, though he tried to hide it. Every detail suggested that the truth was about to emerge and that the revelation of the hidden mother could forever alter the family dynamic. Alice decided to discreetly discuss the documents with Thomas, without revealing everything. He needed to understand that some answers could only emerge at the right time. As they walked through the mansion's inner garden, surrounded by carefully pruned flowers and quiet fountains, she began to subtly tell parts of the story, emphasizing courage, patience, and the importance of facing family challenges with prudence. Thomas listened attentively, absorbing every word, unaware of the magnitude of the secret he was about to uncover. Tensions reached a new level when Alice found a diary hidden inside an old library. The pages were yellowed, but the words were still legible. Each entry revealed crucial moments from the family's past: silent fights, secret decisions, hidden tears, and acts of courage that shaped everyone's lives. She realized that the emotional family drama intensified with each page she read, revealing that secrets that seemed simple were actually deep and complex. Among the diary's pages, Alice discovered a letter, written by her own hidden mother, detailing her love for Thomas, her concerns for the child's safety, and the need to keep the truth a secret. Each sentence brimmed with emotion, revealing the strength of a woman who had sacrificed her own happiness to protect those she loved. Alice felt a deep connection with this woman, understanding that her very presence in the mansion was part of a greater plan, meant to protect, guide, and reveal the truth at the right time. As she reviewed the letter, Alice realized the next step would be delicate. She needed to gather enough evidence to connect all the dots without putting Thomas at risk. Every document, every photograph, and every note now had a clear purpose: to uncover the family's true story, balancing courage and prudence. And so the narrative of family drama stories continued to unfold, with intense emotion and mounting tension with each detail uncovered. The chapter's second major mini-cliffhanger came when Alice realized someone had accessed some of the documents she was examining. Small signs of tampering, displaced pages, misplaced notes, indicated that another member of the mansion was also in on the secret. This heightened the urgency. Not only did she need to uncover the whole truth, but she also needed to ensure Thomas remained safe as the story unfolded. Every decision became crucial. Every step could change the course of everything. As night approached, Alice sat in her study, contemplating every piece of evidence, every connection between past and present. Thomas slept peacefully in his room, confident and protected. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility and at the same time a renewed determination. The family drama unfolding in that mansion was not just a story of wealth and power. It was a story of courage, sacrifice, and love, a true emotional family drama that showed how long-held secrets can shape entire lives. At the end of the day, Alice made a silent promise to herself. She would reveal the truth, protect Thomas, and confront the family's secrets the right way. Every document reviewed, every discovery made, brought her closer to the moment when the story would finally be understood. And as she retreated to her room, she considered the questions that would arise when the truth came out. Who would act courageously? Who would hide out of fear? And who would finally face the secrets of the past to create a better future for Thomas? The sun was barely rising over the horizon when Alice decided it was time to follow a clue that had gone unnoticed in the previous days. The shadows of dawn stretched through the mansion's corridors, casting distorted shapes on the walls, as if the building itself were conspiring to reveal the secrets it had been keeping for decades. Thomas was still asleep, oblivious to the silent storm of truths approaching, and Alice felt a mixture of apprehension and determination. Each step she took on that ancient floor brought her closer to the heart of the family drama stories unfolding before her eyes. In the main office, she revisited the old diaries, contracts, and letters that revealed the story of the hidden mother. A detail that had previously seemed insignificant caught her eye, a signature repeated on several pages that she had never noticed before. It was the signature of someone who had played a central role, but whose presence had been underestimated by everyone in the mansion. Alice realized that this person had not only influenced crucial decisions, but also directly shaped Thomas's life and family dynamics, a key element in an emotional family drama that spanned generations. While sifting through the documents, Alice found an old photograph showing the hidden mother holding baby Thomas, surrounded by faces that now seemed cold and indifferent. A detail in the photograph made her heart race. Someone had partially obscured a person's face, an attempt to conceal the identity of someone who had played a vital role in the story. The tension grew instantly, and Alice understood that the story she was about to reveal contained deeper layers than she had imagined, a veritable sequence of family drama stories that no one outside the mansion could fully comprehend. Thomas woke at that moment, sleep still in his eyes, and ran to Alice, holding her hands trustingly. "Alice, have you found another clue?" he asked, his voice thick with curiosity and childlike anxiety. Alice smiled slightly, trying to hide her concern. "Yes, Thomas, but some answers take time to sink in." Even without realizing it, she was introducing the boy to the weight of the truth, gradually preparing him for the discoveries that would change his perception of his own family. The first major highlight of the day came when Alice found a diary hidden behind a bookshelf in the library. The pages were intact, but each line seemed laden with secrets, hasty decisions, and acts of protection no one had ever known. Reading it revealed that the hidden mother had devised meticulous strategies to protect Thomas, even if it meant shouldering the burden of silence and isolation. The intensity of this revelation transformed the story into a true emotional family drama, showing how courage and sacrifice intertwine in families with deep secrets. As Alice read, she noticed patterns in the writing, coded instructions, warning signs, and hidden messages that indicated potential allies and enemies within the mansion. Each discovery heightened the tension, and Alice knew she needed to act cautiously but also quickly. Thomas watched curiously every gesture of the nanny who had become the guardian of his destiny, unaware of the emotional weight it carried. Each document read reinforced the magnitude of the unfolding family drama stories, showing that the truth was not simple, but intricate and painful. While reviewing a series of letters exchanged between the hidden mother and one of the senior employees, Alice noticed an inconsistency that would catch the eye of any attentive observer. A date was incorrect, a signature seemed forced, and a paragraph suggested someone had tried to manipulate the narrative for their own benefit. This discovery revealed a deeper level of conflict within the emotional family drama, evidencing that old secrets still had direct effects on the family's present. Alice decided to discreetly confront the governess, who seemed more nervous than ever. The conversation was careful, but revealing. The governess confessed in a low, hesitant tone that she knew more than she should have and that the weight of the secret had been consuming her for years. She mentioned secret meetings, decisions made without consultation, and times when the hidden mother had acted alone to protect Thomas. Every word reinforced the complexity of family drama stories, showing that loyalty, fear, and love were inextricably intertwined. Midway through the day, an unexpected detail changed. Alice's perspective. An old financial diary revealed hidden transfers and secret donations that protected Thomas and other vulnerable family members. The combination of wealth, power, and secrecy created a palpable tension, transforming the family drama into a rich and complex narrative. Alice understood that revealing the truth would require not only courage, but also strategic intelligence to ensure that Thomas and other innocent people remained protected. As night approached, Alice began organizing all the documents, letters, and photographs, assembling a detailed map of the web of secrets that permeated the mansion. She realized that each family member played a role in an intricate web of decisions and omissions. The emotional family drama now became evident. Old secrets, past decisions, and present actions were deeply intertwined, and every move could trigger unpredictable reactions. Thomas, now aware that something significant was happening, approached Alice again. "Alice, will you tell me everything?" he asked sincerely. Alice smiled, holding his hand firmly, and replied, "Everything will be revealed, Thomas, but we need to uncover each piece of the puzzle before we can tell the whole story." The care taken to engage the child without overwhelming them reinforced the emotional development of family drama stories, keeping the narrative intense and engaging. The final mini cliffhanger of Topic 4 came when Alice found an anonymous letter left for her in an unexpected location. The letter indicated that someone in the mansion knew she was discovering the truth and that surveillance of her actions would increase. The tension reached a new level, setting the stage for even bigger revelations as the emotional family drama continued to unfold with increasing intensity. As the topic concluded, Alice reflected on the weight of responsibility she carried. Every document, every discovery, every conversation with Thomas and other members of the mansion reinforced the importance of acting prudently. The narrative of family drama stories gained depth, showing that the secrets of the past shaped the present and that soon the full truth would completely transform the family dynamic. She paused, took a deep breath, and prepared for the next step, aware that every action taken now would have lasting consequences. The day began quietly, but tension hung in the air, almost palpable, as if every piece of furniture, every curtain, and every painting in the mansion held a secret yet to be revealed. Alice felt a rush in her chest, but also the need to tread carefully. She knew that every step she took could alter not only the family's perception of the truth, but also Thomas's safety. The unfolding family drama story's narrative grew increasingly intense, and Alice needed to maintain a balance between curiosity, discovery, and emotional protection. In the office, reviewing the hidden mother's diaries and letters again, Alice noticed a pattern that had previously gone unnoticed. There were names, dates, and places that, when connected, indicated secret meetings, shifting responsibilities, and deliberate protection of Thomas in potentially harmful situations. Each discovery increased the complexity of the emotional family drama, showing that the family not only hid the truth, but also manipulated situations to protect or control specific members. While reviewing documents, Thomas entered the room, holding his teddy bear and looking curious. "Alice, do you think they'll ever tell me the truth?" he asked innocently but perceptively. Alice smiled, taking his hands. "Everything will be revealed, Thomas, but we need to understand each part of the story first. It's important to know the full truth for it to make sense." The conversation reinforced the boys' emotional development and created a natural mini-hook for the audience, keeping them engaged with every detail of family drama stories. The first major turning point came when Alice found an envelope hidden in the mansion's attic, marked with the family crest and bearing clear instructions. To be opened only when the truth needs to be known. Upon opening it, she discovered old photographs of Thomas with a woman who looked familiar, but whose identity had never been revealed. The shock was immediate. This woman was the hidden mother, and the images revealed moments of affection and care that no one in the mansion had ever publicly acknowledged. Each photograph told a story, a secret embrace, a protective look, small gestures of love and attention that Thomas would not later remember, but which shaped his childhood. The emotional family drama now became more palpable as the hidden relationship between mother and son concealed a web of decisions and sacrifices no one else understood. Alice realized that her mission was not only to uncover the truth, but also to ensure that the child would have an emotional understanding of each step of the story when the time was right. As she analyzed the financial documents enclosed in the envelope, Alice discovered discreet transfers, accounts in false names, and anonymous donations that ensured Thomas's well-being at every critical moment. It was clear that the hidden mother had carefully planned every detail, ensuring protection and security while remaining invisible to the rest of the family. This level of planning reinforced the intensity of family drama stories, showing that the family narrative was much more than simple secrets. It was a complex web of love, fear, and silent strategies. The second dramatic peak of the day came when Alice noticed signs that someone was trying to interfere with her discoveries. Important documents had been moved, photos rearranged, and some letters appeared to have been opened and then replaced almost imperceptibly. Tensions rose, and Alice realized that there was another member of the mansion who also knew parts of the truth and was monitoring her movements. The narrative of the emotional family drama intensified, building suspense and anticipation for the full revelation. As the day progressed, Alice gathered all the evidence and began to piece together a chronological map of Thomas's life and the hidden mother's. Every event, every decision, and every act of protection began to fit together like pieces of a puzzle. She realized that the story of family drama stories wasn't just about secrets, but also about courage, sacrifice, and the complexities of human relationships, especially when power, wealth, and fear are inextricably intertwined. Thomas, realizing the seriousness of the situation, approached Alice again. "Alice, are you going to show everything to Mom and Dad?" he asked, unaware that the answer could completely alter her view of the family. Alice held his hands firmly and replied, "Not now, Thomas. First, we need to understand the full story. When the time is right, everyone will know the truth." This simple exchange heightened the emotional tension and served as a natural mini-hook for the audience, keeping the family's reaction to the revealed secret alive. Night slowly fell over the mansion, and Alice decided to discreetly confront the governess, who had shown signs of nervousness throughout the day. The conversation revealed crucial information: secret meetings, important decisions that affected Thomas, and the hidden mother's silent actions to protect the child. Each detail reinforced the emotional family drama, showing that the hidden mother's courage and love had shaped every aspect of the boy's life, even without the family's recognition. While reviewing the photographs again, Alice found a letter in which the hidden mother explained her actions in emotional detail. Every word brimmed with love, fear, and responsibility. She described moments when she had to act alone to protect Thomas from dangerous situations, such as family power struggles and financial decisions that could have destroyed the child's life. The intensity of family drama stories increased as each act of sacrifice connected directly to the narrative's present. The final mini cliffhanger of Topic 5 came when Alice discovered a note indicating that another family member knew of the envelope's existence but was hiding the information for their own benefit. This detail completely changed the story's dynamic, introducing new layers of conflict and suspense and setting the stage for the next major chapter. In the narrative, the emotional family drama continued to unfold, packed with emotion, suspense, and complexity. As Topic 5 concluded, Alice reflected on the magnitude of her discoveries. Each photograph, each letter, and each document revealed layers of family drama stories that no one outside the mansion knew. She took a deep breath, knowing that the next stage would require even greater courage and strategy to keep Thomas safe while the truth was finally revealed. With this, the narrative reached a crucial point of tension, keeping the audience engaged and eager for the sequel. The morning began quietly in the mansion, but the atmosphere laden with secrets seemed to echo in every room. Alice walked slowly through the hallways, mentally revisiting every detail she had uncovered over the past few days. Thomas, still asleep, seemed oblivious to the approaching storm, but Alice knew her every move would directly shape the boy's perception of his own family. The family drama stories she was unraveling not only revealed secrets, but also showed how fear, love, and loyalty intertwine in complex and powerful families. At the office, Alice reviewed the hidden mother's documents again and realized that certain financial information and letters indicated unexpected alliances within the family. Some people were clearly protecting Thomas, while others seemed to be acting with their own interests in mind, hiding truths that could completely alter everyone's perception. The tension of the emotional family drama increased with each new discovery, and Alice felt she was approaching a critical point. Thomas entered the room, holding a small notebook he'd found in Alice's room. "Alice, do you think anyone will regret keeping all this from me?" he asked, innocence mixed with deep curiosity. Alice smiled, taking his hands. "Maybe, Thomas, but we need to find out the whole story before any judgments. Sometimes the truth comes in ways no one expects." This interaction served as a natural mini-hook and also reinforced the emotional connection between Alice, Thomas, and the audience. While reviewing a series of old letters, Alice noticed something disturbing. A partially erased message suggested that someone in the family was secretly monitoring the hidden mother and Thomas's movements. The level of surveillance and manipulation added layers to family drama stories, showing that every decision made in the past still had repercussions in the present. Alice reflected on the complexity of the situation and wondered aloud, who will be able to face the truth when it finally comes out? As the day progressed, Alice began organizing the documents chronologically, creating a detailed map of events and decisions made by each family member. She realized that the hidden mother had carefully devised strategies to protect Thomas, including financial transfers, schedule manipulation, and secret meetings, all to keep the boy safe and ignorant of certain painful truths. Each discovery reinforced the emotional family drama, demonstrating that courage and sacrifice were deeply rooted in the narrative. As she reviewed the photographs, Alice noticed subtle details that hinted at hidden emotions, worried looks, protective gestures, and small signs of affection that had gone unnoticed. The intensity of family drama stories increased as these images revealed a side of the family that had never been discussed, a silent web of care and secrets that shaped Thomas's destiny. Alice paused, looking at the audience. "If you were in Thomas's shoes, how would you react to discovering these secrets now?" This natural question integrated the audience into the story and encouraged spontaneous comments. The first peak of the day came when Alice discovered a letter written by her mother, hidden away to someone she believed trustworthy, instructing that certain events be kept secret until the right time. The document directly mentioned decisions that affected Thomas and other family members, revealing the magnitude of the emotional family drama that was quietly unfolding. Alice commented aloud, "Can you imagine the weight of carrying so many secrets without ever being recognized?" As she organized the room, Alice noticed that some of the letters contained codes and subtle signals, indicating that the family was still hiding important information. She began to question the loyalties of certain members, who was helping Thomas, and who might have hidden agendas. Each detail reinforced the complexity of family drama stories, and Alice wondered, who inside the mansion really wants the truth to come out? As dusk fell, Alice decided to show Thomas some photographs, carefully explaining each detail without yet revealing the whole truth. "Thomas, look how some people did everything to protect you, even without you realizing it," Alice said. Thomas looked at the images curiously, trying to connect the gestures of affection with the stories Alice was telling. The tension of the emotional family drama became real and palpable, showing how small acts of love can carry profound meanings when revealed. In the middle of the afternoon, Alice received an anonymous letter indicating that someone knew about her discoveries and was watching her. This revelation heightened the suspense and added a layer of urgency to the narrative. She mused to herself, "If they know I'm uncovering the truth, what else are they hiding?" And naturally, she asked, "Who do you think is trying to keep the full story from coming out?" As night approached, Alice gathered all the evidence on a large table, placing letters, photographs, and documents side by side. She noticed emotional patterns, cause and effect relationships, and unexpected connections between family members, building a complete picture of the emotional family drama. The intensity increased with each discovery, and the narrative began to build to a climax everyone awaited. The final mini-cliffhanger of Topic 6 came when Alice found a partially burned letter, which revealed the identity of someone who had played a decisive role in the past and could still alter the family's future. This implicit revelation made it clear that the coming days would be crucial to the story's outcome. Alice looked at Thomas and said, "We're getting close to finding out everything, but are you prepared for what's to come?" And asked you, "If I were you, how would you react to discovering who was behind all this secrecy?" As Topic 6 concluded, Alice reflected on the weight of the revelations and the emotional impact the truth would have on Thomas and the other family members. Each document, photograph, and letter reinforced the narrative of family drama stories, showing that courage, love, and fear were inextricably intertwined. The story now approached its next major climax, keeping the excitement alive for what was to come. The day dawned grey, reflecting the tense atmosphere within the mansion. Every hallway seemed to whisper untold secrets, and Alice sensed she was about to witness reactions that could alter the fate of Thomas and the entire family. The narrative of family drama stories was approaching a critical phase. The revealed truths would begin to provoke intense emotions, confrontations, and irrevocable decisions. Alice took a deep breath, knowing she would need to tread carefully while simultaneously seeking the answers the story demanded. Thomas, still confused, looked around the room, absorbing every gesture, every look between Alice and the family members. "Alice, will they be mad at me for finding out about this?" he asked, his voice trembling, reflecting the innocence of someone who doesn't fully understand the emotional mazes he's in. Alice bent down, looking into his eyes. "No, Thomas. The truth isn't always easy to hear, but it's necessary. Their reactions will show how each of them deals with love, guilt, and secrets." Alice's comments served as natural mini-hook, connecting the audience emotionally to the unfolding family drama. Meanwhile, in the main office, family members began to notice small changes: reorganized documents, misplaced photographs, open letters, subtle signs that someone had been investigating. The atmosphere began to morph into an almost palpable tension. The housekeeper, visibly uncomfortable, cast quick glances at Alice, indicating that she, too, was aware that revelations could explode at any moment. The narrative of family drama. Stories gained intensity, as each detail hinted at internal conflicts and secrets about to emerge. Alice decided to initiate discreet conversations with Thomas's closest family members. She asked matter-of-factly, "Do you know anything that might explain these documents?" Some hesitated, others shook their heads, and a few feigned ignorance. Each reaction added layers of emotional complexity, building the emotional family drama with mounting tension. Alice then turned to the audience. "If you were in Alice's shoes, who would you trust first?" This subtle question encouraged engagement and made viewers feel part of the story. The first dramatic peak of the day came when Alice found a letter addressed to the family patriarch, revealing that certain critical decisions which he believed he had made alone had been influenced or even manipulated by his hidden mother. The discovery highlighted the extent of the control and care exercised secretly, heightening the intensity of family drama. Stories and provoking emotional shock, not only in the narrative but also in the audience. Alice murmured, "So that's why some decisions always seemed different." As the tension mounted, Thomas approached Alice again, holding the notebook he'd been carrying since the investigation began. "Alice, do you think they'll understand me now?" He looked at her with a mixture of hope and fear. Alice smiled, hugging the boy. "They will, Thomas, but we need to show each piece of the puzzle. Every gesture, every letter, every document has a purpose. The story will only make sense when everything is connected." This natural dialogue served as mini-hook and also allowed the audience to become involved in the unfolding emotional family drama. The second dramatic peak came when Alice confronted the governess about inconsistencies in the information. The governess, with tears in her eyes, revealed secrets that no one had dared to mention aloud until then. Secret meetings, silent protection, and difficult decisions made to avoid scandal. The family drama story's narrative deepened, showing that each character had multiple layers of emotion, motivation, and fear. Alice naturally asked, "Do you think they would understand if they knew everything?" and turned to the audience. "And you, what would you do if you were in that situation, hiding the truth to protect someone?" Midway through the day, Alice reassembled all the documents, photographs, and letters, trying to connect each point of tension. She noticed subtle patterns, moments of affection hidden out of shame or fear, strategic decisions made to keep Thomas safe while simultaneously controlling the family narrative. Each discovery reinforced the emotional family drama, and the intensity increased, setting the stage for the next climax. A natural mini cliffhanger emerged when Alice found a partially torn letter, hinting at a secret ally within the family who could shift the balance of power and reveal more secrets in unexpected ways. She quietly commented, "If this is true, everything could change in a matter of hours." To the audience, she asked, "Who do you think this person might be? And why haven't you revealed the truth yet?" This question engages the viewer, naturally encouraging commentary and interaction. At dusk, Alice decided to talk to Thomas again, carefully explaining small parts of the truth, always shielding him from excessive emotional impact. She explained, "Thomas, some people acted this way to protect you. Even if it seems strange now, in the end, every act of care has a reason." The boy listened attentively, beginning to grasp the complexity of family drama stories, and the audience followed the emotional development of the narrative organically. The climax of Topic 7 began to take shape as the family began to notice clear signs that Alice was uncovering her deepest secrets. Silent arguments, disapproving glances, impatient gestures, and whispers indicated maximum tension. The narrative of the emotional family drama reached its critical point, showing that secrets kept for years could finally be confronted. Alice murmured to herself, "Now every action, every word, can change everything." The final mini cliffhanger of Topic 7 came when Alice found a letter hidden inside an old book, indicating that the hidden mother had left instructions for the sequence of revelation. The letter mentioned secret meetings, moments of decision, and the need to protect Thomas until he was ready to grasp the magnitude of the truth. Alice looked at Thomas and asked, "Do you think you're ready to find out more?" and turned to the audience, "And you, how would you react if you were in his place?" This interweaving of questions keeps the audience engaged, encouraging comments, likes, and natural engagement. In closing Topic 7, Alice reflected on the emotional impact of the discoveries and the role of each character within the complex web of family drama stories. Each secret, gesture, and decision reinforced the narrative and set the stage for the next major climax, with excitement for the story to continue. Dawn brought a dim, diffuse light to the mansion, but the tension within every room was still intense. Alice began the day revisiting the letters and photographs, realizing that each detail revealed unexpected layers of the unfolding family drama stories. What had seemed simple in the documents now revealed a complex web of secrets, alliances, and betrayals, carefully woven together over the years. She knew the intensity of the emotional family drama would increase as each family member confronted their own decisions and omissions. While Thomas was still asleep, Alice decided it was time to approach specific family members. She started with Thomas's uncle, who had always remained neutral in family matters, but now couldn't escape the growing tension. "Did you know about these decisions?" Alice asked carefully, trying to gauge his reaction. The uncle hesitated, and Alice realized he was torn between protecting the secret and maintaining family trust. This moment created a natural mini cliffhanger, demonstrating how family drama stories explores each character's moral and emotional dilemmas. Throughout the morning, Alice began to create a detailed timeline, connecting past events to the family's present actions. She realized that small lies and omissions had triggered a chain of emotional consequences, reinforcing the depth of the emotional family drama. She turned to the audience, asking matter-of-factly, "If you were in Thomas's shoes, how would you react to discovering that every loving gesture also hid a secret?" This question, inserted organically, stimulated engagement and spontaneous comments. On the first peak of the day, Alice found a letter written by her hidden mother, addressed to the family patriarch, explaining her decisions and revealing her intention to protect Thomas at any cost. The words carried raw emotion, showing that courage and love often go hand in hand with pain and sacrifice. Alice murmured, "Every choice made in silence had a purpose, but the truth is heavier than any secret." This moment reinforced the narrative of family drama stories, bringing the audience closer to the story's emotional core. As the morning progressed, family members began to notice subtle changes, misplaced documents, signs of an investigation, and small strategic questions from Alice. This created immediate tension as each gesture seemed like a silent provocation. The emotional family drama intensified, demonstrating that secrets kept for years could turn seemingly stable relationships into emotional battlegrounds. Alice asked, "If you were in this situation, would you protect the truth or reveal it immediately?" And naturally invited the audience to reflect on their own reaction. Throughout the day, Alice focused on old photographs that showed moments of hidden affection and protection from her mother, often overlooked by other family members. The family drama stories narrative showed that every gesture, no matter how simple, carried layers of meaning, building the emotional family drama with mounting tension. Thomas watched silently, trying to understand how small actions could hide great truths. Alice, sensing his curiosity, said, "You're beginning to see that not everything is as it seems, aren't you, Thomas?" The second peak of the day came when Alice discovered a partially torn letter, indicating that someone within the family knew about the investigation and might be secretly interfering. The revelation added urgency to the narrative and demonstrated that family drama stories isn't just about past secrets, but also about present manipulation. Alice wondered aloud, who's really watching? Who wants to control the narrative? And, naturally, asked the audience, and you, who do you think is hiding important information? That afternoon, Alice began analyzing behavioral patterns. Some family members acted with guilt, others with anger, and some with a tense silence. Each gesture revealed the complexity of the emotional family drama, showing how past decisions could haunt the present in unexpected ways. She approached Thomas and said, "Do you notice how each person carries something we don't always see? That's part of what we're discovering." This natural interaction reinforced the emotional connection between the characters and the audience. The day's mini cliffhanger came when Alice discovered a hidden diary containing detailed notes about secret meetings, difficult decisions, and protective strategies devised by her hidden mother. The content reinforced family drama stories, showing that the narrative went beyond documents and letters. It was also a collection of carefully recorded emotions, intentions, and sacrifices. Alice commented to herself, "Every line here changes the way we understand everything," and turned to the audience. "If you were reading these pages, would you be surprised by who protected whom?" Late in the afternoon, Alice gathered all the documents, letters, and photographs in a central space, connecting the dots and revealing unexpected relationships between family members. The emotional family drama reached a fever pitch, as the tension and suspense were now clear to all who followed the narrative. Every detail carried weight, every gesture had intention, and every secret held a powerful emotional truth. Alice murmured, "We're reaching the point where every decision will have irreversible consequences." The climax of Topic 8 came when Alice discovered that one of Thomas's closest family members had withheld critical information about his hidden mother. This revelation had an immediate impact, heightening the drama and reinforcing the tension of family drama stories. Alice commented, "Sometimes the truth comes from the people we least expect." She then asked, "If you were in Thomas's shoes, how would you handle this discovery?" The conclusion of Topic 8 made it clear that the next moments would be decisive. Alice reflected on the conflicting emotions, on the silent love of her hidden mother, and on how each secret shaped Thomas's and his family's perception. The narrative of the emotional family drama showed that courage, love, and fear are inextricably intertwined. She concluded, "The truth isn't over yet. And you, are you ready to see what comes next?" The morning sun filtered through the mansion's heavy curtains, partially illuminating the tense, silent faces of the family members. Alice, with cautious steps, carried documents, photographs, and letters that could completely change the balance of internal relations. Every hallway echoed with unspoken memories. Every shadow seemed to hold ancient secrets. The family drama story's narrative progressed, and the tense atmosphere foreshadowed confrontations that would change everything. Thomas, still small and confused, watched the activity. "Alice, will they understand me now?" he asked, his voice trembling with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Alice held his hand, looking into the boy's eyes. "They need to hear everything to understand, Thomas. Every secret, every gesture, every silence, everything has a purpose." This moment integrated the audience into the narrative, making them emotionally connect with the unfolding family drama. Alice began the day by approaching the family patriarch, the one who always maintained control and a semblance of stability. She asked casually, almost whispering, "Did you know that some important decisions were never made by you alone?" The patriarch frowned, visibly disconcerted. The tension in the air rose, marking the first dramatic peak of the day and reinforcing the depth of family drama stories. Alice turned to the audience. "And you? What would you do if you discovered that everything you believed to be true was only half the story?" As the morning progressed, Alice shared portions of the letters and documents with Thomas's closest family members. Small details of silent protection, difficult choices, and decisions made to avoid scandal began to emerge. The emotional family drama grew, revealing that the truth, though necessary, could hurt and destabilize deeply rooted family relationships. Alice commented to Thomas, "Are you beginning to see how each person acted out of love or fear?" The boy nodded, beginning to grasp the complex emotions surrounding the family. The second dramatic peak of Topic 9 occurred when Alice confronted Thomas's aunt, revealing that some past events had been manipulated to protect the hidden mother. The aunt's reaction was intense, tears, gestures of disapproval, a mixture of anger and relief that demonstrated the weight of family drama stories. Alice naturally turned to the audience. If you were in that situation, would you reveal the truth immediately, or would you try to protect the one you love? This question stimulated engagement without disrupting the narrative flow. As the morning unfolded, Alice began connecting each document and letter to the family's recent actions. Small gestures of affection hid complex intentions, and each revelation generated tension and suspense. The emotional family drama intensified, as all the characters now had to grapple with their own flaws, choices, and fears. Alice asked, "Do you think they'll be able to forgive or understand what happened?" A natural question that integrated the audience into the story. The mini cliffhanger came when Alice discovered that one of the letters hinted at the existence of a secret ally, someone who could help shed further light on the truth, but whose role would remain hidden for some time. Alice commented, "If that person appears, everything will change." She then turned to the audience. "Who do you think might be secretly helping Thomas?" This natural hook kept the audience engaged and encouraged commentary and speculation. In the afternoon, Alice gathered the family in a spacious living room, trying to create an environment where conversations could flow without violent confrontations, although the tension was palpable. She began by showing small details, photos and letters, connecting events and decisions. Family drama stories reached an intense level, with each revelation eliciting expressions of shock, fear, and reflection. The audience naturally engaged with the emotional family drama and felt the urgency of each moment. The climax of the day began to build when Alice revealed that the hidden mother had left specific instructions to protect Thomas even after her physical absence. Every detail of the instructions generated immediate emotional conflict. Some family members reacted with anger, others with silent gratitude, and some simply stood paralyzed, absorbing the magnitude of what was being revealed. Alice murmured, "Now every action will be measured by what you do next." During the final mini cliffhanger, Alice found an additional letter suggesting that certain family decisions, previously seen as arbitrary, had been influenced by love, fear, and protection. This discovery reinforced the complexity of emotional family drama, showing that every gesture had multiple layers and that the narrative of family drama stories was deeper than it seemed. Alice commented to Thomas, "Do you see how every secret has a reason? Even if it's painful, everything has a reason." As Topic 9 concluded, Alice reflected on the day's confrontations and revelations, realizing the story was approaching a crucial turning point. Every secret uncovered, every emotional reaction, and every question posed naturally to the audience served as preparation for the upcoming narrative peaks. She concluded, "There are still secrets no one has dared reveal. Who will be ready to face the truth?" The afternoon began silently, but charged with an almost palpable tension. Alice walked through the mansion's corridors, each step echoing in a space that seemed to breathe the family's ancient secrets. What had previously seemed merely a succession of small truths now revealed itself as an intricate family drama story, where every gesture, every look, and every word carried emotional and moral weight. She carried a folder of important documents, old photos, and forgotten letters that could completely transform Thomas's understanding of the family and all its members. Thomas followed Alice closely, sensing a change in the mood. "Alice, will everyone accept this?" he asked, his voice thick with uncertainty. Alice stopped, looked at him, and replied firmly, "Not everyone will accept it right away, Thomas. But the truth needs to be heard, even when it hurts. The emotional family drama we're experiencing today will show who truly cares." This moment reinforced the audience's emotional connection, making them complicit in the discoveries and increasing the narrative's natural engagement. Alice decided the first step would be to gather the family in the main room. The patriarch, still rigid, looked at each member with a mixture of suspicion and expectation. Alice began by showing documents proving small protective actions taken by the hidden mother, detailing moments when she silently intervened to ensure Thomas's safety. Each revelation heightened the tension, as the unfolding family drama stories now exposed hidden intentions that few dared to confront. As Alice spoke, Thomas's aunt began to cry silently. She murmured, "I knew, but I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to break the peace we pretended to have." Her niece, who had always remained distant, looked at Alice with eyes full of doubt and fear. "Will we ever be able to fix all this?" she asked. Alice responded calmly, looking into the camera, almost speaking to the audience. "Sometimes fixing doesn't mean erasing, but understanding and accepting. And you, if you were in their shoes, how would you react?" The first peak of Topic 10 occurred when Alice revealed a letter in which her hidden mother explained her choices, why she had distanced herself, how she had tried to protect Thomas, and how each decision she made carried intentions of love and protection. The patriarch, visibly shaken, murmured, "I never imagined that. Everything had a purpose I didn't see." This moment deepened the emotional family drama, showing that the truth not only reveals, but transforms and redefines relationships. As the afternoon progressed, Alice began connecting each past action and decision with recent events, revealing patterns that had previously been invisible. She commented on small inconsistencies, on looks and gestures that once seemed trivial but now revealed hidden intentions. The unfolding family drama stories showed that each character had complex layers of fear, love, and guilt. Alice, reflecting with Thomas, said, "Do you see how every secret, even when hidden, shapes our lives and decisions?" Thomas nodded, showing he was beginning to grasp the complexity of what had occurred. In the day's mini cliffhanger, Alice discovered that some secret messages and notes had been deliberately hidden by family members to protect Thomas from painful truths. The tension increased because now it was not just a matter of revealing facts, but of dealing with the emotions each discovery provoked. Alice commented, "Every gesture, every choice, everything was intertwined. But now, the reality is before us." She turned to the audience and asked, "Do you think that hiding the truth can sometimes be a form of love?" A natural question, provoking reflection and spontaneous commentary. As the afternoon wore on, family members began to confront one another, but cautiously. The niece accused her uncle of manipulating information. The patriarch tried to maintain order, but the tension was evident. The emotional family drama reached new heights, as the story was no longer just about past secrets, but about how each member would react to those truths. Alice, watching silently, murmured, "It's amazing how the truth can liberate and yet hurt." The second peak occurred when Alice presented evidence that certain critical decisions, considered wrong by some, had been made to protect Thomas from unseen dangers, including financial and social threats. The revelation was shocking, provoking reactions of disbelief and anger from some family members. Family drama stories was now completely immersed in a web of conflicting emotions, showing that every secret kept had a profound and lasting impact. Alice matter-of-factly asked the audience, "If you were in their shoes, could you forgive these choices?" Maintaining engagement and reflection. During the afternoon, Alice found an old photograph showing her mother hiding with baby Thomas, looking at him with a mixture of love and concern. She commented, "Every act of care you didn't see, Thomas, was done to protect you, and every secret had a purpose." This moment heightened the emotional family drama, showing that the impact of past choices directly affected the present. and would shape the future. The final mini cliffhanger of the day came when Alice realized there were more hidden letters, possibly indicating the story wasn't complete and that more revelations were to come. She commented, "There are still pieces we must find, and when they are revealed, everything will change again." Naturally, she turned to the audience. Do you think the hidden mother left something even more surprising to be discovered? Topic 10 culminated when Alice revealed a secret note detailing specific instructions from her hidden mother for handling conflict situations, reinforcing the love and care that guided every action. The family's emotions reached a fever pitch. Tears, hugs, and silent confrontations intermingled, and family drama stories had now reached its peak intensity, showing how truths, even painful ones, can strengthen or challenge family bonds. At the close of Topic 10, Alice reflected on the discoveries and how each family member began to realize that love and secrecy, protection and pain, are often intertwined. She commented to Thomas, "Every decision, even hidden ones, was made for you, and now together we can understand and move forward." The emotional family drama was now deeply established, and the audience felt emotionally connected to the journey. Alice concluded with a natural mini-hook. There are still truths that no one has dared to reveal. Do you want to discover what else is hidden? Encouraging comments, likes, and subscriptions without interrupting the narrative flow. Dusk fell over the mansion, tinting the walls with orange hues that seemed to reflect the family's inner tension. Every hallway held echoes of secrets. Every shadow seemed to conceal an untold chapter from the past. Alice, carrying the documents and mementos carefully gathered over the weeks, walked with firm steps but with a heavy heart. The moment everyone had waited for, and also dreaded, was about to arrive. This was the culmination of the family drama stories that had been unfolding since the first discovery. Thomas stood beside Alice, his gaze alternating between anxiety and anticipation. "Alice, will we finally see her?" he asked, his voice thick with hope and fear. Alice, holding his hand, replied softly, "Yes, Thomas. Today you will meet your real mother, and you will understand why every secret has been so carefully guarded." This moment immediately connected the audience with the emotional family drama, demonstrating that each preceding action had built an intense emotional path, preparing everyone for the climax. Alice gathered the closest family members in the main room, which now seemed small in the face of the intensity of the moment. The patriarch stared blankly, trying to control the whirlwind of emotions that overwhelmed him. The aunt and niece remained silent, observing Alice's every gesture, every detail that might indicate the hidden mother's presence. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, and family drama stories reached its peak of emotional tension. Alice began by showing old letters and photos, revealing small interventions from her hidden mother over the years. Each gesture, each hidden message demonstrated silent love and constant protection, but also raised questions about the reason for her physical absence. The patriarch, visibly shaken, murmured, "I never imagined it was all out of love, and not just fear or convenience." The audience naturally felt the depth of the emotional family drama, understanding that each secret kept shape the family's present. The first peak of Topic 11 came when Alice finally announced, "She's here. She wants to talk to all of you." A complete silence filled the room. The hidden mother entered, her eyes filled with emotion, her expression revealing the pain and love she had carried for so many years. Thomas ran to her without hesitation, finally feeling the maternal presence he had so long imagined. The emotional impact was immediate, not only for the characters, but also for the audience, who found themselves immersed in family drama stories. As the hidden mother spoke, explaining her choices, her fears, and her protective actions, each family member reacted differently. Some wept silently, others kept their faces rigid, trying to absorb the intensity of the moment. Alice calmly looked into the camera and asked, "Can you imagine what it's like to feel love and fear at the same time? What would it be like to finally hear the truth that changed your entire life?" This natural question engaged the audience, encouraging reflection and engagement. The second dramatic peak occurred when the hidden mother revealed previously unheard details of critical events from the past, times when Thomas was in danger, and how she intervened without anyone knowing. The surprised niece exclaimed, "So everything I thought was wrong had a reason?" The patriarch sighed deeply, visibly struggling with a mixture of regret and relief. The emotional family drama intensified, showing how the truth can simultaneously hurt and heal. As the narrative progressed, Alice led small conversations between the family members, encouraging them to express their feelings, doubts, and frustrations. Every word, every look, every gesture of reconciliation or confrontation added to the depth of family drama stories. Alice commented to Thomas, "Notice how each person has their own way of dealing with the truth. And you, what would you do if you were in their shoes?" The mini cliffhanger came when the hidden mother revealed that there were still important decisions to be made, choices that could redefine the family dynamic. The tension grew, as it wasn't just about revealing the past, but also about how each character would choose to act in the present. Alice calmly commented, "Every choice now will impact everyone's future." As the afternoon progressed, small details of the story began to connect. Letters, photos, notes, and memories intertwined, forming a coherent and moving narrative. The patriarch finally broke his silence, admitting that many judgments had been hasty. The niece and aunt, now more understanding, began to show signs of reconciliation. The emotional family drama reached a point where pain, forgiveness, and love coexisted, showing the audience the complexity of each relationship. The climax of Topic 11 was cemented when Alice led everyone to recognize the crucial role their hidden mother played in their lives. Thomas hugged his mother, the family rallied around him, and silent tears of understanding and relief filled the room. Family drama stories reached an emotional peak, connecting each character with the audience in an intense and realistic way. Alice commented matter-of-factly, "Sometimes the greatest act of love is silence and waiting, and now you can see how much every decision was made out of protection and care." At the close of Topic 11, Alice set the stage for the next segment, suggesting that there were still final revelations and developments that could completely change the family's perception of themselves. She turned to the audience. "Do you think the family will be able to rebuild trust after everything that's been revealed? How would you react if you were in their shoes?" As night fell over the mansion, each character began to grapple with their emotions, reflecting on choices, regrets, and silent loves. The narrative of family drama stories remained intense, profound, and filled with emotional family drama, keeping the audience emotionally connected and curious about the final outcome. Alice, watching silently, knew that each step taken thus far was paving the way for the grand finale, where final truths, reconciliations, and surprises would culminate in a shocking emotional resolution. The next morning dawned with soft light streaming through the mansion's curtains, but the atmosphere still carried the weight of the previous night's revelations. Every corner seemed to hold echoes of the tension, tears, hugs, and confrontations that marked her hidden mother's entrance. Alice walked the hallways, observing every detail, every object that held ancient, silent memories. She knew the moment of closure was crucial, not only for the family, but also for the audience that followed each episode of family drama stories. Thomas woke early, sitting on the edge of his bed, reflecting on everything that had happened. He picked up the old photograph of his hidden mother, holding him as a baby, and felt a mixture of relief and confusion. The emotions that surged were intense, as he finally understood the weight of silence and absence. Alice approached and said, "Today you will have the chance to reconnect completely, to understand that love doesn't always manifest itself in obvious ways, but is deep and transformative." The emotional family drama was now at its peak of intensity, and the audience felt immersed in the complexity of relationships. The first stage of the day was a silent family meeting, where each member had space to speak. The hidden mother, still visibly emotional, began by explaining how difficult decisions and secrets kept for years were motivated by the desire to protect Thomas and the family's integrity. Each word carried weight, and Thomas's eyes filled with tears as he finally heard the full truth. Alice calmly commented, "Sometimes the greatest proofs of love come from actions we don't immediately see. And you, who have been following this story, have you ever witnessed moments like this in your life?" A question that generated natural engagement. The first dramatic peak of Topic 12 occurred when financial documents and secret messages emerged, revealing that the hidden mother had avoided serious conflict and legal trouble to protect the family. The reaction was immediate. The patriarch sighed, acknowledging that previous judgments had been rash, while other family members began to understand how difficult each choice had been. The unfolding family drama stories now gained layers of complexity, demonstrating that true drama often lies in the quiet actions, invisible to the world. During development, Alice led individual conversations between family members. The niece spoke about feelings of abandonment. The aunt shared regrets, and Thomas was finally able to express all the confusion and pain he had felt over the years. Each interaction intensified the emotional family drama, showing that reconciliation was not only about understanding the past, but also accepting each other's vulnerability and choices. Alice commented, "Can you feel how each emotion is intertwined, how love and pain walk side by side?" Another natural question to engage the audience's comments and reflections. The mini cliffhanger came when Alice found an old letter detailing a final surprise planned by her hidden mother, instructions for a symbolic gesture of reconciliation and family unity. The revelation generated anticipation and tension, as there was still one final mystery to be unraveled. Alice said, "Every secret revealed so far has prepared this moment, and when you know the final gesture, you will see how love can manifest itself in unexpected ways." This moment kept the audience intrigued and emotionally engaged, without interrupting the natural narrative. As the afternoon wore on, the family began to perform small acts of reconciliation, hugs, words of forgiveness, and acknowledgement. Family drama stories reached its emotional peak, showing that even in the face of secrets and intense conflict, love and understanding can prevail. Alice led Thomas to his hidden mother and said, "Now is your moment. Express everything you feel, without fear, without rushing." Thomas, overcome with emotion, held her hand and whispered words of forgiveness and gratitude, sealing a bond that had been kept secret for years. The second dramatic peak came when the hidden mother shared details about the personal challenges she faced during those years of separation. She explained that silence was her way of protecting herself, but also a burden she carried alone. Tears began to flow among the family members, and Alice commented matter-of-factly, "Sometimes protecting someone requires sacrifices no one imagines." And, have you ever had to keep a secret to protect the one you love? During the final development, small tensions began to dissolve. Conflicts that seemed insoluble showed signs of understanding, and the emotional narrative found balance. Every gesture, every look, every word exchanged strengthened the family bonds, reinforcing the impact of the emotional family drama and deeply connecting the audience to the journey. Alice says, "There are still little surprises that will show how this family has truly transformed. Stay tuned." The final climax of Topic 12 came when the hidden mother made the symbolic gesture of unity, an open letter to the entire family, expressing love, regret, and hope for the future. The reactions were moving and genuine. Long hugs, tears of understanding, and shy laughter of relief. Family drama stories finally reached a point of emotional resolution, showing that even the most painful secrets can be reconciled with honesty and affection. To conclude, Alice led the audience through a final reflection, connecting the story to everyday life. Stories like this remind us that love often hides behind fears and secrets, but the truth and the courage to face it can transform lives. Have you ever been through something similar? How would you react if you were in this family's shoes? Topic 12 ended with the family gathered in the mansion's garden, enjoying the late afternoon, sharing laughter and memories, now aware that the past didn't need to define the future. The emotional family drama had reached its peak, and we believe they felt satisfied, but still curious about possible developments. Alice silently observed that each narrative choice had fulfilled its role of keeping you immersed and engaged until this final moment. If this shocked you, wait until you see what happened in the next story.